What's going on, everybody? My name is Ace, and welcome to Ace Plays. Today we're back in Rangeview for another episode, episode 4. Kind of feels like we're flying by through the series, but because I'm enjoying building the city so much. Although, at the moment, maybe not so much, I guess. This is actually the 4th time that I've tried to record this video, and among, there's many reasons for that. Mostly the reason is because the solution I've come to with what we're about to attempt has not been satisfactory, and I think, hopefully, this time it will be. So what we're trying to do, and I'm going to let this run as I'm trying to build up some money for the infrastructure project we're about to embark on. What I'm trying to do is readjust the highway to have a more efficient flow of traffic through the city and from the highway. This current setup is bound to cause issues as we grow, especially as we get into the, I'd say, about 5 to 10,000 area. This is going to be just woefully insufficient. So I want to kind of get ahead of that now and solve the problem before it even starts. The issue, however, is that we have a very, very steep grade on this side of the city. So because of that, we need to solve this in a way that we normally wouldn't. Obviously, it would be very simple to just plop down some interchanges, but because of this hillside here, it becomes very, very challenging. Now, I've toyed with many ideas, and I've toyed with many ways to fix this, and I think I've found the only one, which is going to involve a heavy modification of the industrial area, but I do think that this change will stick. So, with that being said, what we're going to do is start out by taking a loan. And I talked about how I don't like loans, really. I don't usually partake in them, but I do honestly think that it will be worth it. Just because I would like to take the time to spend this level of money on the infrastructure. So we're going to start by pausing. And we're going to start by demolishing this entire interchange area and bringing the industrial area down to the size it should be for the time being. So we're just going to go with a clean slate in this area. I usually like to do that when I do these types of large level infrastructure changes. I like to start from ground zero. So we're going to do that. And we're going to destroy everything here, obviously, because there are jobs here, there's important things here, so we're going to try and keep it as intact as possible. But I have sized it up, so I know that that's going to need to happen at the very least. I've downloaded a new asset, a smaller, a more reasonably sized interchange that should fit very nicely in this area. And the reason, you'll see why I went ahead and moved so far back, because it's going to be difficult to get exactly where you want to. But this looks like it'll do fine. So you'll see the reason that the reason why I went ahead and got that loan, because we have quite a bit of building to do with an already relatively expensive interchange. So we're gonna get going immediately. This is gonna be a rather short episode, I think, because this will be the only goal. Barring any major issues, this should not be too long. Aiming for about 25 to 30 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and get this down to the ground level as soon as possible and build up to the road. Same thing here. I think we can delete this as well. Let's get a tighter curve. Manually building it ourselves. That's not right. Okay. So what we'll do is we can consolidate this later on. Not really a need to do that now. The way we'll do it is make this 2-lane, bring that into there. But at the moment, I'm not too concerned. I am kind of in a speed build mood right now. I'm kind of just trying to get this to be livable as soon as possible to start recouping some of that initial investment that we just spent, and also get the recovery started for my what will be absolutely decimated industrial area. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because I do foresee all these areas to grow. The last thing I want to do is underservice the infrastructure and then have to solve that later. As I said, I'm the type of person that does not enjoy doing, starting things that I don't finish. I don't want to create an infrastructure that's not going to work. I want to solve it from the beginning. So it's kind of pursuant to what we're doing here. I think this should be a 4-lane one-way, or maybe a 3-lane one-way. I do have an asset for that, so we'll do that. Put road anarchy on. Yep, that'll work. Optionally, a 4-lane one-way would work, but I don't even think I have that. So, we do have 4-lane road, but no 4-lane one-way at the moment. What I'm doing now is kind of assessing what the needs will be of this area. I think likely the best solution will just be to modify these to a 3-lane, because I don't think we'll have the the previous was 2, so likely we won't have the demand for that anyway. So why create a situation where we need have more road than we need? Doesn't really seem like a wise thing to do, so we won't. And I do think, theoretically speaking, we should probably mirror this roundabout. That's definitely not the right size, but that'll do for now. We can upscale the other one when the time comes. This will be a bit bigger. Kind of makes sense anyway. It'll have much more traffic, and I can already tell we're going to need to take out another loan. So, in the end of the day, not too worried about expenditure at the moment. Feed that in, and then feed that in, and it's not perfect, but it will do. So this is, now that I'm looking at this intersection, I don't know why this happens, but for some reason when I use the roundabout tool and I connect roads to it, it like modifies the roundabout significantly, which I don't see why. I'm not, I don't want to change the size. I want them to stay constant. I don't want to change the, I absolutely do not want to change the roundaboutness of them. So I would really love to figure out how to solve that, because this is just not what I want. I don't want anything to change about the roundabout. So if you know anything about that, please do let me know. Yeah, you see, like I don't want that. Obviously, and now I can't. The problem is that the game does not really allow you to do. And I guess the way you would solve that is by putting them on points. This has been wasting a lot of money, unfortunately. But there's really no other way to do this, because we don't have the ability to. We don't have the option to Control Z on roundabouts, so or on roads, so we can't undo. So we're forced to trial and error, unfortunately. And even this, I don't like that either. So we're gonna just keep trying. It looks about equidistant. We're gonna build it here instead. So that will. And I'm going to go just for, see, I'm very confident that that's going to cause an issue. Very confident. So what we'll do is this. And this actually might be the best idea I've had. So we're going to build this 3-lane, or the 6-lane, out to here. We're going to build the roundabout here. Then we're going to merge these 3 laners into the head of this 6-laner. That's actually not even a 6-lane. This is a 6-lane. So we're gonna merge them into the 6-laner, and that will undoubtedly solve the issue. I hope. Okay. So it's not perfect. It's definitely like a weird angle here. Just connect the. I had an issue before where I messed that up, so I kind of want to avoid that at this point. Gonna do the same thing here. A merge. A roundabout merge. Nope, that's not what we wanted. Out of money again. So we're gonna take the big loan for now. Unfortunate, but again, I just want to get this done. Something that I've been looking forward to for a bit, so we're just gonna do it. Then we're gonna get another stub out of the north. Consolidate these a little bit, and get the 3-laners connected. And I want to emphasize, I'm sure as many of you are watching, maybe you don't love how I'm doing this, or you think it's suboptimal. I think that probably goes to show the level of difficulty I've had implementing this. That's why it's taken several episodes several tries of this episode, because it's an incredibly challenging thing to do with the terrain that we have in this area. It just doesn't lend itself to being manipulated in this way. So I'm a little confused as to why there's even an issue with the way that this is clipping here, so we'll try it one more time. A lot of times you're just trial and error. Basically you're just trialing and erroring with the terrain to try and get it to work with you, but can't seem to, so whatever, it's fine. That there, and we will feed a 2-lane highway into these. That'll work great. And then a one lane exit ramp. Ooh, that's not what I wanted at all. Oh, there's a inside road there. That's why that was happening. Okay, we're gonna redo that. So it didn't solve the weird left side thing, but at least it's better off than it was before. See, I thought that was the freeform tool. I'm gonna freeform that myself. Okay. Didn't know how that happened. See, it's happening on this side too. Strange. I don't know. I'm gonna bring this one back as well. I'm not happy about how that looks either. Again, as you can see, the terrain is just it's just a challenge. It's really just a challenge. The proper way to fix this is going to be modulating the distance between nodes to oh, I see this got built weird. Fix the distance between nodes so that we're getting ample time to create these curves. see, it's just not working out. With the terrain, it's just not working out. Maybe we can just feed these directly into the roundabout. That's another option that we have yet to explore. Or something actually that I'm considering now. Potentially feeding them in earlier. Such a steep ramp. In the end of the day, like the Sims will like resolve this. Obviously, they're gonna do it almost regardless of the slope I make. So, in the end of the day, this is all just nitpicking. But I don't enjoy creating unrealistic infrastructure or like anything unrealistic. Kind of enjoy the realism aspect of this game. So, definitely something I probably spend more time than I need to on. So again, just goes to show the difficulty of the terrain on this map. So we're gonna slope this. Maybe again, spacing these nodes is just gonna give us more ability to impact the slopes so that they're a little bit more manageable for the sloper. These two also can just come way down. They don't need to be that high. So that'll definitely give us the ability to improve these a bit. How did that happen? Really, I mean, that's just ridiculous. So it's looking okay, actually, at the moment. That goes to show you how terrible it looked when we first did this. Yeah, I mean, it goes to show it's a very challenging starting area on this map. So, if you can do better, by all means, show me. I'd love to see. It's definitely, like I said, it's definitely a challenge. But that is the interesting part of this map. That's that's what leads to the happiness of actually getting it done finally, in my opinion. Getting it right. It's in spite of the difficulty. So you know what? That just doesn't need to be sloped like that. And that's why you get these weird formations, because the default building doesn't take the slope into account like that. So you kind of have to do it yourself, where you're considering, okay, well, it doesn't have to be this steep. Let me bring down with page down, bring down the slope. So I'm going to standardize the height of the bridge. Now what we'll do is, for these final bridge nodes here, we will slope out to as far as we can to make them as light of a slope as we can. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I definitely, after trying this 4 times, this is definitely the best we've been able to come up with, honestly, which again is kind of shocking, but again, it just really goes to show that the difficulty of what we're working with here. We're gonna just do a little bit of moving. Again, just kind of clean this up as much as we can. Maybe another one out, sloping those. These can likely all come down to the same height, or up to the same height, doesn't really matter. They should be able to be the same height though. Bring it up a bit. That curve on that side looks good. This one's a little off. So we'll slope these. In all honesty, this is probably the best we're going to be able to do. It doesn't look terrible. I will have to say, the other implementations looked terrible. This is certainly not terrible. It's not great. Certainly not terrible though. So we're going to start by immediately addressing the fact that our transit has gotten absolutely busted up, which is fine. We will fix it. I'm going to just delete these nodes here. The problem is that the line gets very confused when you have these types of issues. So we're gonna stop. I almost want to delete this this line here actually, just because as you can see, it's trying to create connections where connections are literally impossible. Use industrial roads here. I think we should upgrade these anyway. So hopefully that solves. Oh, okay, wonderful, great, that's fantastic. So that resolved that issue, and then we're going to work a bit on recovery for our industrial area, because we've almost utterly decimated it. And I think we'll also extend this to this area. Remove that. Move that. Move that. We're going to service this inner loop, and potentially a nice way to solve this would be stop here, stop there, and stop there. Right before the roundabout. It's not perfect. We could also bring a small jet out here, and what that'll do is give us the ability to turn around in this loop. So what we can do is actually, there you go, exactly, how to stop here. And the reason why I do spend so much time is because I don't want, if you, like, I'm sure a lot of you have done transit on your games, and you've realized that, like, you can easily get in a position where you're getting these weird overlapping of bus lanes, or the transit's getting overlapped and, like, turning in weird, and that basically what that means is that you're getting, like, a ton of unnecessary travel for your transit. So that's kind of what we want to avoid here. Oh, that looks much better. So we're gonna slope these, and I think over time maybe invest some money into terraforming here. But for now, we just don't have the money for it, and also I'm not very good with the default tool, quite honestly. So I'm gonna work to enforce the roundabout rules here. So do the same here. That is done. This should not have any parking. Where's the parking? Okay, so no parking. So on all these roads, we're gonna go, and I actually, so the plan right now is to, I'm actually in the middle of writing a script for a full tutorial on Traffic Mod Presidential Edition, and I think that'll give a great opportunity for people to get kind of a hands-on understanding of what it is, how it works, how to get the most out of it, because I use it a lot, and I think it's kind of like there's so much to it, so it can be difficult to kind of like understand what everything does. But if you do, you have quite a lot of power at your fingertips, so I think it's worth knowing, and I think if somebody can make an easy to understand guide, that would be kind of great. My goal now is actually to just improve things a bit here, and I think I know how to do that actually. So I'm gonna, well, actually it's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, because I do think, like, now that, again, like, I've done this several times, so I'm very, very sure actually that it's not gonna get better than this. And because of that, I do want to spend the time to do it right. And again, I say that out of having done this 4 times. So I do think this is the solution that will stick. So I'm just gonna manually spend the time to perfect this as much as I can. It's much better there. So what we'll do is just bring, so actually I have a decent idea here. What I'm gonna do is build the road from the other side, which should actually elevate the, no, okay, incorrect. Did exactly the opposite of what I want. So maybe we'll consider just leveling this, softening this terrain here. Just you know, this is the cheapest tool as well, so just soften it a bit. Get a little bit more of workable slopes, right? That's what we're looking for. It doesn't so much matter that they're slopes. The problem is that they're not really workable. So we want to improve the ability to build on this land. That's what we're doing here. So softening, really, you know, softening these curves, making sure that there's not too much of a gradient, that it's kind of a softer you know, softer landing, or a softer decline to this roundabout here. It's like a nice little paintbrush, kind of painting the landscape to be how we want it to be. I do think this little bit of terraforming will go a long way, so that's why I'm kind of investing the time. This will probably be where we also leave it, so this looks much, yeah, this is going to be much easier to deal with. Okay, perfect. What did I just do? What did I just do? Okay, wow. So that's, I mean, I don't know how you guys think about that, but just from the jump, I think that that's a huge improvement, visually speaking. And I think that if we could do this just right, we'll get some really nice slopes here to where it's gonna look much better. So I think we could do the same thing like we did. We can mirror on the other side. Just create a much longer on-ramp. Give the landscape more time to adjust. I think that is a 1 lane. Yep, it's a 1 lane on ramp. So we're gonna do like we said, just gonna be a little bit more respectful of the roadway, of the landscape, and give the roads the ability to get where they need to go without making these huge, crazy, without having these ridiculous slopes. Okay, so I honestly think that this looks far better than it did before. I'm gonna work on getting a slope between these. Ugh, that's not right. Guess it really should be slope between these nodes. It wouldn't hurt to have another one in the middle here, quite honestly, but I don't think we're going to be able to force it to happen. So let's take a look at the junctions, make sure everything looks good. This is certainly not what we want. Okay. So actually, yeah, this is gonna do much better with the traffic. I notice now that I made this too large. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so that you can see that the traffic is flowing through this much better than it was. This is a roundabout, yes, and I think obviously inevitably this is just gonna have to be bigger. It's too small. So we're just gonna increase that now to a bigger size. Check for junctions. Yeah, whenever you build a roundabout, you're likely to have junction issues, so always just check. And I think that that's going to be a much more sustainable situation for our interstate. Yeah, so you can see the traffic is just flowing right through here with absolutely no issues. I think that this was a much needed change. Much needed. So we're going to address some other things while we're on this episode. Even though the goal was really just to get that done, we're going to add some more availability for the elementary school. Because I know that I checked our vitals before we started the episode. I noticed that was an issue, so we're going to add some elementary schools. And then, yeah, this is, so I'm gonna say this is definitely where much better, definitely where we want to be in terms of the highway. And I think choosing a more compact intersect, like, because I want to reiterate. Oh, you see, there's a lot of job issues here. So I think really quickly we'll go ahead and zone all these because we have these roads built, this infrastructure. Let's make use of it. Let's make use of it for sure. And then I think one thing to fix that as well, because again, this is a kind of a reasonable length video at the moment. We're gonna increase the access to this area. Actually, that's been okay. We're gonna increase the access. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually do this by creating a new line, and this new line is going to intersect with this main road here, and basically increase access to the industrial route. You'll see what I mean here. So we're going to intersect these so people can take both routes. And this is going to, see that's what I meant before about the issue with strange road behavior, strange bus stop behavior. So as you can see, the idea here is to not just create a bus lane, but create a bus lane that directly intersects with the industrial line. That'll heavily increase the amount of usage we see in the industrial area, or to the industrial area. Create one right in the end there, around the corner, and connect it up. And I remember when I checked the first time I recorded, and there were some issues with the bus lines. They did have a little bit of misallocation, right? So like this, for example, this can definitely do with less. But also, this is the industrial, so we will see that increase. We will see that increase, absolutely. So I'm not super concerned about removing that for now. So, you know, not surprising. We're gonna have some issues with since we're rebuilding the transit, we're gonna have issues with availability of labor. Just kind of increasing that access a bit. We will have issues, but it's to be expected. So. So we'll see that this is, yeah, I was going to say this is going to have a ton of people waiting for it. This will probably be our most heavily transited line, and that's going to be because while we're focusing on the intersections with our industrial buses, it's going to service a ton of traffic, a ton of people trying to go left and right. It's also going to service these parks as well, so we're going to see a lot of usage there. And unsurprisingly, we still are just chock full of residential demand, so we're going to just continue to support that. So let's take a look. We want to see healthy, yes, so exactly. So we want to see healthy capacity in these buses that are transiting towards the industrial area. This is exactly what we want to see. Exactly what we want to see. So these jobs should be getting filled much quicker now. And it may come down to it that we just need to... This is actually the water treatment plant, so it's not actually that important in my eyes that we have a stop in front of there, because technically there's not going to be that many sims working there. I want to consider adjusting its location. So this, we might have to move that, add a stop here, just to get more people around these bus stops. And I think this will actually create a good opportunity to come back around into this area for one last stop right before we continue on further. It's definitely not the most efficient way to go through here, so I probably will fix it next episode, maybe when we add some more bus lines, but for now we're good. So already we're seeing very high usage of that line, which is great. I don't know why that's like that. There you go. The nodes are just not far enough apart. So we're still having issues with access. This will probably be something we address next episode. I try to do with the buses. I think the buses will solve it, but it'll just take some time. So we'll definitely look to address this later on. And also, I think that this probably did increase the size of the industrial area when we added more workers. As you can see, some of these are actually resolving, so it does mean the buses are working properly. But there's just maybe not enough people in general. As you can see, 99% point. We just need more residents. So we're gonna leave it for now. Next goal is massive expansion. I think we'll do great. Next episode, I could see us getting to 4,000 or 5,000 people. So we're gonna invest a ton of capital into just growing our industry, growing our residential area. Now that we have a really nice way to funnel traffic in between, I mean, our traffic flow is very healthy, 82%. It's perfect, perfectly fine. And I think that the next focus will be expanding residential and making it as, getting it as close to its potential as we can. So I want to thank you all for watching. I know this was a long episode like they always are, and I enjoy the longer episodes, so I'm going to keep it that way most likely. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy multiple of my videos, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell for the next episode. The next one will most likely be out in a couple of days. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.